All right, guys. So I caught TYT's segment on their response to Candace Owens. Now, I do actually watch some left-wing media outlets, and the reason why is because I think it helps me think through my own beliefs, right, and challenge myself when discussing a lot of this stuff, and it helps me understand the other viewpoint, right? So I will watch some of it every now and then just to see their perspective on things. But I was extremely interested in their response to Candace Owens because I think that this Candace Owens situation in regards to her being discriminated against by this COVID-19 testing facility in Aspen, Colorado, I think that it is a prime example of the hypocrisy on the left in regards to how they have politicized this virus and this pandemic. And I told you guys before, like, one of the things that really annoys the hell out of me is how political everything about this pandemic has become. Everything is political, and it really annoys the hell out of me. And I really do think that the left is responsible for most of the politicization of this pandemic. And this video right here, this response from TYT in terms of their opinions on this Candace Owens situation, I think really drives home that point, that these people really don't care about public health and safety as much as they claim to, right? Because the test of your beliefs, right, the test of your principles is if, for example, when it comes to free speech, if you really believe in free speech, then you have to believe in free speech that you don't like, okay? You have to believe in free speech that you don't like. If you don't believe in free speech that you don't like and you don't think it should be allowed, then you're not really for free speech, right? Same thing with this pandemic. If you really believe in public safety and public health and that this virus is serious and we should take it serious, then you have to apply that to everybody, even if you don't agree with them politically, right? That means you have to go out of your way to protect and serve everybody, okay? That means that you're serious, right? If you don't, then you're not serious. It's political at that point. I think this situation has proven that the left, a lot of this stuff is political for them. Now, we're going to pick off here where they already read the response from the clinic. You guys should already have seen that, right? The response from the clinic. You should already kind of know kind of how this whole thing went down. And again, they're going to get into their opinions in regards to Candace's response and go from there.
And Owens's response was, she's angry about it. She doesn't ever want to suffer any type of consequences for her own behavior, which I've come to expect from conservatives and grifters like her.
Okay, I have a serious issue with this, right? I have a serious issue with this. Anytime TYT talks about a black conservative, they always call them grifters, right? When they were talking about Candace Owens versus Kim Klacik, they literally said that Candace Owens and Kim Klacik are both grifters because they're black and conservative. Now, this is the same people who claim to be race crusaders, who claim to not be racist. Okay, but if you're black and conservative, you're automatically labeled a grifter purely based off the fact that they cannot fathom a black person that does not agree with their extreme left-wing viewpoints. So they smear you as a grifter. And I guarantee, watch any video these people do, right? Especially Anna, especially her. Watch any video they do talking about Candace Owens or a black conservative. They will always use that term grifter. In my opinion, again, this is the internalized daddy complex that the left has with black people. If you don't agree with us, then you must be fake. You must not be sincere in your beliefs. You must be a grifter. You must be doing it for money. Right? And they do that purely based off your skin color. That's what they do. Which, again, is textbook racism. But yet they claim to be the ones that, we're not racist. We're fighting for black people. No, you just want black people to agree with you to push your political agenda that's not necessarily helpful towards black people. That's all it is.
But the real question is, did the clinic do the right thing? Or do we agree with what the clinic did? And so I'll take it over to you first, Cenk. I want to hear what you have to say.
I'm torn on what the clinic did. I'm not torn on what Candace Owens is doing. The clinic is right that she's spreading disinformation.
What disinformation? What disinformation is Candace Owens spreading? Because they're going to say that a lot. They're going to say, oh, she's spreading disinformation. She's spreading. Okay, what disinformation is Candace Owens spreading? Because I'm hearing a lot about the disinformation that she's spreading, but I'm not hearing a lot about the specific details of the so-called disinformation that she's spreading. It's funny how they do that. Well, we're discriminating against her because she spreads disinformation. Well, okay, well, what did she say that was wrong? They never have a answer for that. They never can go into details about it. I wonder why.
And is a terrible person. So she says she's unvaccinated. She travels across the country, doesn't wear masks while traveling.
Lie. Guys, in Candace Owens' video, she literally said, hey, this is my stance. If I get on an airline and they require me wear a mask, then yeah, I'm gonna wear a mask. Okay, I'm gonna follow the rules. But if a business requires me to wear a mask, then I have the freedom of choice to decide whether or not I want to do business at that venue, right? But what she didn't say is that, oh, I'm just gonna break the rules. That's not what she said. She said, I'm willing to follow rules. It's just I have the right to choose whether or not I want to do business with that person, right? Or that business with those rules. So again, these people who claim to be so fact-based, right? They claim to be so truthful. They couldn't even do the proper research and listen to what Candace Owens said. Because if they listened to what she said, they would know that she actually does wear a mask when it's required. Outside of that, she's like, okay, well, I can kind of pick and choose what businesses I want to do business with. But, I'm getting a COVID test so I can prove that I'm negative so that I'm not actively spreading the virus. But see, that if they say that wouldn't fit their agenda here, which is to just smear Candace Owens as a bad person. That's all it is.
Her husband she was concerned as COVID, he was sick. Still doesn't wear masks. Still doesn't get vaccinated, and tries to spread disease everywhere.
It says that she tries to spread disease everywhere. I mean, just flat out lying, okay? The whole reason she's trying to get a test is that she doesn't spread the disease. This dude is a dumbass, okay? Like, this guy is an idiot. He's an idiot. Like, bruh, this dude he's just flat out lying. Okay? How can you sit here and say that she's actively trying to spread the virus when she literally in her explanation said, I am getting a test so that I don't actively spread the virus. And that's what you're doing a story about. That's what you're doing a story about. Okay, because if what you say is true, Cenk, right? Why the hell is she getting a test? Again, these are the people that claim to be so logical and fact-based when you can't even get the basic facts about this story right. I mean, this is basic stuff. If you just did an ounce of research, you would have known this stuff. But that's not, they didn't care about that. Because their agenda here is to smear Candace Owens and to hate on her. That's all it is.
And they encourages her viewers, her listeners, her readers, etc. Now make sure, everybody, that you're dumb and you don't listen to any doctors at all. Instead, listen to me.
When did she say that? When did she say don't listen to your doctor? She literally said, again, in the video, she literally said, look, I'll make a personal choice for me, but I don't discourage others from making their own personal choices. If they want to make their own personal choices, that's on them, right? They can make their own health decisions. Where is she encouraging people not to listen to doctors? Again, just flat out lies. I mean, this is what we call ass pulls, guys. He's pulling this out of his ass. He dug deep, okay? He dug deep. He was up there in the upper part of his large intestine, okay? He might have been in his small intestine, as deep as this man was going, okay? He dug deep, right? Cenk should be a prostate doctor. That's how much far up his ass he pulled this out.
She says, and they do. And they're like, oh, that rando online that has no degree, no nothing, no knowledge, and used to be a raging liberal who sued for racial discrimination, who now says black people are the problem. That's my expert. That's my expert. I'm gonna rely on her for medical advice. I think the rest of the doctors in the world are in a global medical conspiracy. Okay, so that's real. So if I was a clinic, would I have given her a test? Yes, but she'd have to wear a mask, and you're not going to come and endanger our.
And she wouldn't have had a problem with that, right? I mean, she already said that that's what she has to do anyways. Again, but you would know that if you actually did the research and actually looked at what she said, but you didn't do that. Okay, it's very clear that they did not do that before doing this video.
You're coming in to take a test, you're worried that you might have COVID because you're an idiot, and you very likely do. It certainly will at some point, so you're definitely gonna have to wear a mask. That's not even close. But if she's wearing a mask, yeah, because it's a public danger, and I don't wanna spread the disease. It's not just about Candace Owens.
And she doesn't either, you idiot. She... Bro, these dudes are clowns. How do they have 5 million subscribers? I don't understand. Guys, I've literally just broke down how everything this man just said was just flat out wrong. Just incorrect. None of this is accurate whatsoever, what this man is saying.
Yeah, that's in my opinion the perfect take. I just think, and look, no, obviously we're kind of like judging this private testing clinic, and they have the right to make whatever decision they want to make, right?
Oh, really? Do you really believe that this private business has the right to make whatever decision they want to make? Because I'm not so sure if you guys would necessarily agree with that when it came to the religious cake baker and his rights to discriminate against people who are homosexual. Take a look.
So look, my answer is I think making sure that every American has equal protection under the law is more important than saying every tenet of your religion, including the ones that are discriminatory, must be enforced by the government. Now, where I would draw an important line though is we cannot discriminate between the religions. So you can't say, well, Muslims don't like gays, so we're not gonna allow that. But the Christians who don't like gays, we're gonna allow that. You can't do that, right? So you can't discriminate between Mormons, Muslims, Christians, atheists, agnostics, etc.
Because that would also be unconstitutional.
Because that would be unconstitutional. Yeah. But if your religion demands that you not treat people equally, well, sorry, we live in a secular country, right? So as long as we're not discriminating between religions, I think we are allowed to say no, equal protection under the law. And unfortunately, this case didn't quite get there.
So you guys hear what he said there, right? He said, well, when it comes to discriminating based off your religious beliefs, well, that's not equal protection under the law, right? That's not equal protection under the law. You shouldn't be able to discriminate against people based off your religious beliefs. That's what Cenk is saying in that video. But in this clip right here, what he's saying, well, what Anna is saying is that, well, private businesses have the right to do what they want to do. And obviously, Anna agrees with Cenk, right? Because she can't really think for herself. I mean, she basically agrees with everything he says because that's her boss, right? But you notice how they never said that what the clinic was doing was wrong, right? They didn't say, well, what the clinic is doing is wrong, but I would have done something else, right? They just say, well, I would have done this, but they don't call out the clinic for being wrong, okay? You see how they're trying to finesse this? And they're also not calling out the people that have basically praised the clinic for discriminating against Candace Owens, right? See, again, this is where the hypocrisy comes in. It's like, okay, yeah, you can go up here and say that, oh, I would have done something different, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you still have to condemn that clinic for discriminating against Candace Owens, right? And even if you do believe that private businesses can do whatever they want, and I tend to agree that, private businesses, should have the ability to choose who they want to do business with, as long as they're not discriminating based off the protected characteristics or attributes under the law, then, hey, it is what it is. Okay? It is what it is. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I'm going to champion businesses that do discriminate against people based off things like their political beliefs, right? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna say that that's okay. Just like there was a story about a restaurant owner that was like, oh, I don't want Joe Biden supporters at my restaurant, right? And I'm like, that's not right, right? Like you can't, like, I don't agree with that. Now, do they have the right to do that? Sure. She has the right to say, hey, I don't want Joe Biden supporters at my restaurant. That's fine. The free market will speak for itself in terms of whether or not she's going to get more business or she will go out of business. However, I'm not going to come up here and champion that. I'm not going to say that that's right. Okay? So, I mean, like I said, that's how you have a principled stance. What they're doing is saying, well, I would do something different, but I'm not going to say it's wrong. Right? So let's finish listening to a little bit more of what she's saying.
Right? I'm just saying what I would prefer to do, and what you just mentioned right now is perfect, right? Like, there's a responsibility that comes along with this very issue, and it's really difficult sometimes to be the bigger person.
No, it's not. No, it's not, because if the pandemic is so important, right, and if it's so serious, like, you know, you say it is, then it's not difficult. You give her the test and you keep it moving, right? You give her the test, and while you're giving her the test, hey, maybe you say, listen, you know, I don't appreciate the things you say, blah, blah, blah. You have that conversation, but you have that conversation in private, right? And you keep it moving. What you don't do is that you don't refuse to give Candace a test and then have her run around here interacting with people, not knowing whether or not she has the virus when she's actively trying to be safe and to protect other people. So this is not hard, right? This is not difficult, right? It's only difficult when you have politicized everything. When everything is political, it becomes difficult. If you actually stood for something, right? If you actually believe what you say you believe, no, it's not difficult. No, this clinic should not discriminate against Candace Owens. It was wrong to discriminate against Candace Owens, and we should condemn them for doing that, because public health is more important than us disagreeing with her political beliefs. Full stop. There's no buts, okay? But you see how everything they're saying is they want to discriminate against her. They're okay with it. They're like, oh, well, you know, I want to discriminate against her, but, you know, public health, blah, blah. Like, come on. Come on.
Especially when you're dealing with people like Candace Owens. But I would have administered the test, right? Because it's not just about Candace Owens, it's about the bigger picture. And
that's all they had to say, right? That's all you had to say. But they had to get this long, drawn out thing where they smear Candace Owens as a bad person. They lie. They don't get any of the facts straight. They don't tell the story right. And then they refuse to actually call out the clinic for doing wrong. They refuse to do it. Okay, even though they say clearly that they would have done something different in the name of public health. Again, I'm telling you guys, this right here, things like this Candace Owens situation, it's kind of a big deal. It has really revealed that a lot of this stuff for the left is about politics, right? It's like I told you at the beginning of this video. The true test of what you believe is if your beliefs apply to people that you don't agree with, okay? If you're for free speech, you have to be for speech that you don't necessarily agree with. You have to be for allowing that speech, right? This is why when I come out here and I do videos, I complain about people kneeling for the flag and disrespect the anthem. I always say, you know what, I don't agree with it, but I never call for them to be banned, right? I never call for that. I never say it should be illegal to do that. I'm perfectly fine with using public pressure to get people to do the things that you want to do. What I'm not fine with is having the government interfere and force people to do that, right? That's the big difference, okay? But in this situation right here, you know, they don't even want to apply public pressure to get this clinic to do the right thing, right? To do what's right, which was to test Candace Owens so that she knows whether or not she has the virus and that she can keep other people from getting the virus. Again, it shows you that they don't stand for anything except what they want and their authoritarian mandates. That's all it is, right? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.